Good morning everyone. Welcome to your English class. Dear students, today we are going to do the question and answers of lesson number 5, Maui's Kite. Question number 1 of exercise A. How did Maui build his kite? Answer number 1. Maui built a grand kite for himself by using his mother's largest, strongest piece of cloth for the covering, bamboo sticks for the cross pieces, and branches of the olona shrub to make a strong rope. Question number 2. Why did Maui go to the keeper of the winds? Answer number 2. Maui went to the keeper of the winds because he wanted to ask for a special wind, which would make his kite fly really high. Question number 3. What advice did the keeper give Maui and his friends? Answer number 3. The keeper of the winds advised Maui and his friends to respect the winds and to never take them for granted. She told them that the winds would respect them only if they were respected in return. Question number 4. What caused the storm? Answer number 4. Maui's greed and his belief that he was as strong as the winds led him to disrespect them. He demanded that the keeper of the winds bring out Ipu Nui, the gourd which held the 4 great winds. When she refused to do so, he called out to the winds himself. But once the winds were unleashed, he was unable to control them or Ipu Nui, and they caused a huge storm in his village. Now let's move on to question number 5. How did Maui come to be known as the teacher of the weather? Answer number 5. After the great storm, Maui built a smaller kite for himself, which he flew near his house. He often tied it to a rock and studied its movements in the sky. Soon, he became an expert in predicting weather conditions. He warned people when it was about to rain or when a storm was approaching. And since his predictions came true, his neighbors began to rely on his advice and started respecting him once again. It was in this way that Maui came to be called the teacher of the weather. Exercise B. Question number 1. How is the Maui at the end of the story different from the Maui we see at the beginning? Answer number 1. In the beginning of the story, Maui is an arrogant boy who believes that he is as strong as the 4 great winds. He is selfish and does not pay attention to the keeper's advice about respecting the winds. But after the mighty storm, Maui learns his lesson and becomes more respectful of nature. He begins to observe the winds and learn to predict the weather. He uses his knowledge to help the people and wins back their trust. While earlier he was known as he who brought the great storm, he now comes to be referred to as the teacher of the weather. Question number 2. What do we learn about nature from this story? Answer number 2. This story teaches us to respect nature. Human beings can never match up to the power of the nature. They can only hope to try and learn its ways through careful observation. The story also shows us that nature can be kind to us if we respect it, but it can also turn violent and cruel when we disobey its laws. Exercise C. Who said these words and why? Number 1. O wind, soft wind of hello, come gently, come mildly. Answer number 1. These words were spoken by the keeper of the winds. She used them to call upon the gentle winds of Ipu Iki, which would help Maui fly his kite. Number 2. O winds mighty as the gods, return to Ipu Nui. Answer number 2. Maui said this in an attempt to control the mighty winds of Ipu Nui, which were becoming increasingly violent. Question number 3. Tomorrow will be a better day to work in the fields. Answer number 3. Maui said this to the men who were going to work in the fields. He had observed the weather carefully and had predicted that it would rain the next day. He wanted to warn the men in advance. Dear students, that's all for today. I hope this video will help you in completing your work. Pause the video wherever required and complete your work in your fair notebooks. Thank you and have a good day.